What's the dumbest myth people today believe? 1. Lie detectors is a literal thing. There's a reason they aren't admissible as evidence in court in most places. 2. My dad had this guy helping him out, think big box store DIY curb ready helper, who told him if you sleep with your hair wet, you will bleed out of your mouth. And he was 110% sure that was fact. We were both just confused and bewildered at this statement. What the hell had this guy witnessed? 3. There are dumber ones out there, but the one I, as an estate lawyer, deal with constantly is the idea that there needs to be a reading of the will, where the family all gather and the lawyer reads it aloud to them for the first time. We don't do that, we just mail everyone their own copy if they want it. It's a really stubbornly persistent one because people continue to see scenes of it in movies and TV shows, where it's used for some big dramatic reveal. I've even had irate beneficiaries insist that the administration of the estate can't be official until there's a reading. Way back, like 150 years ago or so, I believe we used to do something like that at times because you couldn't exactly presume literacy on the part of the beneficiaries, but now we feel it's a pretty safe bet that you can either read it or find someone who can. 4. Black belts have to register their fists as weapons. I can't believe I was dumb enough to fall for that. 5. If you drop a penny off a skyscraper, it will eventually fall fast enough to puncture someone's skull. By that logic, raindrops would hurt like a bitch or straight up kill you. Not to mention hail. 6. It is believed in Indian culture that keeping your unibrow means good luck. I kept my unibrow for 20 years thinking it is my good luck until I got stage 5 of kidney failure and I did my eyebrows after that because who gives a fuck about luck anymore. Now my eyebrows look cute AF. 7. That you eat spiders in your sleep. Spider will not knowingly walk into a predator's mouth. They can sense both the heartbeat, hear the noise from humans. All things that would alert them not to go into our mouth. 8. That Einstein failed his grade school math class. It was the subject of a Ripley's Believe It or Not column in 1935 and Einstein himself refuted the article. In primary school he had been at the top of class and by 15 he had mastered differential and integral calculus. 9. When I had cancer a few years back and was doing chemotherapy, I had people who constantly questioned that I actually had cancer due to the fact that my hair didn't fall out until I was actually in remission. Had been off chemo for about 2-3 weeks when my hair started gradually thinning and falling out. It's a complete myth that every single person's hair will have the same reaction to chemo. Some people lose hair right away, some don't. Everybody is different. 10. You have to wait 48 hours to report someone missing. I told my girlfriend this last week. For some strange reason she still believed the myth. Then painstakingly went through all of the steps that I would go through if I thought she was missing. All those steps would happen in far less than 12 hours of her not checking back in. It used to be a thing though. Most police departments made you wait 24 hours before filing a missing person report back in the days before cell phones. Back then, it was common to not be reachable for a few hours. Now, if someone isn't responding immediately when you know they should, it probably means something has gone terribly wrong. Police departments today let you file missing person reports immediately. 11. Many people still believe hymens are like plastic food seals that cover up the hole and get popped when you have sex for the first time, and if the girl doesn't bleed she's not a virgin. 12. Halloween candy is commonly laced with drugs or razor blades. No one, and I mean no one, is giving their drugs to your 8-year-old for free. 13. Still blows my mind that people think the earth is flat. Honestly, what reason would world governments have to hide the shape of the earth? Plus cats. If the earth was flat, cats would have pushed everything off by now. 14. Had a cab driver insisting that the reactor meltdown at Fukushima was a failed Chinese attack on the US. The plan was to superheat the rods so they'd burn into the ground, through the center of the earth, and come out in America and irradiate it. Amazing. 15. I still believe that if any of my limbs hang off the bed while sleeping that a monster will grab them. I also believe that the moment I remember this and pull them back on the bed is just in the nick of time before a monster grabs them. You can't prove there isn't a monster under my bed. 16. Had to explain to a grown-ass adult that blood isn't blue inside the body and red once it hits oxygen because blood already carries oxygen. 17. That humans only use 10% of their brain. This is false, regardless of how those who proclaim this myth seemingly demonstrate that it is in fact true. I had a health teacher in school who told us once it's probably okay to actually drink during pregnancy because chances are the brain damage will happen to the 90% of the brain humans don't use, so it won't have any effect on the baby. He proved this by talking about some woman he knew who drank during pregnancy, and one of her sons is a student in the gifted program and the other one is an idiot. The gifted student got lucky and got brain damage to the unused 90%. Just WTF. 18. So many people think narwhals are mythical. A more serious one, that people who have been hurt or oppressed are morally better. My mom thought that because she had been hurt by her dad, whatever she did to the family was somehow justified. The Hutus were legitimately oppressed by the Tutsis, but to be fair, that comes back to Leopold, the patron saint of Africa. All people are fundamentally similar. My sister, who is 37, just found out seahorses were real. And she goes to the aquarium, which has seahorses several times a month for the last 8 years. Edit. She goes to the aquarium a lot because she has kids. 19. Life is fair, and bad things only happen to people who deserve it. Some of the shittiest people sleep like fucking babies at night, and it's really frustrating. It seems like the most humble, thoughtful people are the ones with insomnia and being kept up at night worrying about things, in my experience. And, annoyingly, it seems like narcissists in particular sleep very well at night. They are such headaches of people to deal with. 20. Not sure if this fits here exactly, but the McDonald's hot coffee lawsuit being a frivolous case filed by a money-hungry customer. That poor lady was a real victim who suffered legitimate injuries, who only wanted her medical costs covered. 21. The moon landing was fake. Ignoring that there was 6 moon landings. There is no way Russia or China wouldn't call them out. Russia had launched the Sputnik and had the first human in space. They had the means to track the moon landers. Both China and Russia can now get satellite maps of the moon. They can see the lander on the surface. No way either of them wouldn't miss the chance to humiliate the U.S. 22. Snakes will size you up before eating you. Snakes are not that smart. They don't think out when to eat. If there is an opportunity for food, they will just go for it. There is an urban legend anyone doing educational work with snakes or just hanging out in public with a pet snake repeatedly gets told. A person that their friend or family member knows was allowing their friendly, insert large species of snake, to sleep in the bed with them. It would stretch alongside of their body at night. Then, a vet, herpetologist, or zookeeper told them not to do this, as laying alongside them indicating that the snake was sizing them up to eat them. It never happened. Snakes don't literally measure prey with their bodies, and it's a dumb premise. People also like to confess to reptile keepers with an animal in public view about the snakes they have killed and why they felt it was necessary. People are weird. 23. That soy makes you get boobs, or that it's bad for men. Soy has phytoestrogen, aka plant estrogen. It has no effect on humans. Additionally, I don't think women would be getting expensive boob jobs if they could just drink soy milk, eat tofu, and get the same effect. 24. Some people get the idea that all autistic people are complete and utter buffoons, and it makes me mad when people find out I'm autistic and suddenly talk down to me, even if we've held a lengthy conversation. It makes me even more mad when people think that I can't think for myself, so they stand over me and treat me like a baby. No, Tron Nerd 82, don't handle those scissors. Scissors are for normal people. Then when I prove to them that I'm not a complete vegetable, they either act like I'm just being a grumpy baby, or they question my autism. And this is why I just keep to myself regarding my autism unless I feel like I can tell someone. 25. That gays turn straight people gay by interacting with them. I've had a few teachers that were gay, and I've sat through Disney movies and all sorts of other girlish shit, but not once have I ever left a movie or class thinking, holy fuck, I think I need some dick right now. If you, or your kid, can be talked into being gay in less than 90 minutes via exposure to a movie or just talking to a gay person, you weren't straight to begin with, you were just denial. 26. If a doctor says anything, it is the truth. There are a lot of doctors that are fucking idiots and a lot of doctors who disagree with each other. Yes, I mean real medical doctors, not some fucker on Facebook. 27. Black people cannot be racist. 28. The thing about how flashing your lights while driving at someone to remind them to turn theirs on is some kind of gang initiation ritual that will get you killed. Supposedly, gang members would drive around with their lights off and then kill the first person who would flash their lights at them. This used to be on some kind of email chain back in the day. An old boyfriend of mine even believed in this myth. 29. I'm late to the party, but this one is for parents. Don't hold your baby too much when they cry. It'll spoil them. In the first year of life, that baby doesn't understand being spoiled. They need to feel safe and secure. By not holding them every single time they cry, you will spoil them because they will develop anxiety due to not knowing when you'll come back. Object permanence isn't developed fully until 8 months or so. They'll believe you're never coming back every time you leave. When my daughter was a year old, I would take her to a room for a nap and give her a bottle, then come back out to the living room to talk to my friends. Most of them say things like, "Oh my God, she doesn't cry when you leave." My kids will not let me leave until they're asleep. No, she doesn't, because she knows that if she's scared or uncomfortable, mom or dad is a cry away. She feels comfortable being left alone because we showed her that she will always have someone there if things go wrong. If you don't want your kid to be spoiled, it is imperative to hold them or be with them every single time they cry in that first year.